Hello and welcome to the forest atmosphere. Basically, we'll be learning how to add variety of trees, and this is what we will try to achieve just to give a nice touch to end the video. Yeah. Okay, so let's go and then start the process. And while I'm starting the process, you can start to hit the like and subscribe button. Okay, so let's jump right into it. Okay, this is a new scene. I'll go to my top view and then I will select this. This is selected already. Let's delete this cube and I will create a plane, mesh plane, and then I will press N on my keyboard and let's adjust the width. Maybe somewhere around 1500, and then this can be, and we can further adjust this later on. Okay, so the first thing I would like to apply is the texture for this ground plane, and the texture that I am using is from this Polyheaven website. This is the one I'm using. I have downloaded it already and it's right here. I've taken the diffuse displacement and the normal map. Okay, and let me expand this and bring up my shading editor. So let's create a new material. Okay, so what I will be using is the node wrangler, which comes with Blender, so you should be using it. And if you don't have it enabled, so you can go to preferences, go to add-ons and type node is enough, and this is where you will get it, and just click the check mark and it should be working. And the way I will use this is select this. Okay, this should be selected, and I will press, I believe, Control Shift T, and then I will browse to the location. Okay, I'll select all of my textures. All right, and let's click Principal Texture Setup. So let me just expand this. So as you can see, all of my setup is done automatically. It added 3 different texture nodes and connected it with the displacement to the displacement output, and it has also given me the mapping control. Okay, so it should be updated here. Let's check the material preview. Okay, so we need to adjust the parameter. Okay, so let's come over here and let's check the scale. We can click and drag and actually give a value 2, so it will adjust it all the values at the same time. Okay, so the texture is complete. Now let me check the displacement. All right, first let me see the displacement. So let's go to the modifier properties. The displacement is on and I don't see it. So let me give some subdivision modifier, subdivision surface, and if we increase, nothing happens. No problem. Okay, keep the render value high, no problem. I can keep this here. I don't want this thing turning into a circle, so let's select the simple option. Okay, and while this plane is selected, let's go to the materials tab and scroll down. I don't like this. We have to enable this displacement. If we have given the displacement in the materials, the properties for displacement, it should work without selecting an additional option. If I turn on the rendering, viewport rendering, okay, as you can see the detail, but we don't see the displacement. Okay, so let's come into our materials tab. We need to change the renderer from EV to cycles. Okay, something has been updated. Fine, so let's come back down here and see if we have the displacement option. Oh, displacement, yes. Can I expand this? Sorry, let's expand this out a little bit. Huh? The whole thing, yeah. It's getting cluttered a little bit. Okay, so we come down here, we have the displacement option. So this displacement option was not available when we had EV selected. Okay, so let's say if I select EV back and go back to the materials, I don't see the displacement. It's strange, huh? So EV don't support it yet, maybe. Okay, so cycles, come to the materials tab, and then here's the displacement. So the settings that I am looking for, displacement, it says bump only. I don't understand why. It should say displacement, should be displacement. I don't know, there must be some reason. Let's say displacement and bump. Okay, something just happened. All right, so now all we need is we need to add more information to our plane. So if I give it more subdivision, you can see the displacement. Okay, fine. So we don't want to use the high values in the viewport, but we can increase it for our render. But in order to adjust the camera, I don't mind increasing it. Okay, it looks messy. Okay, let's try another option. It's looking a bit messy. So let's go back to the renderer option and select the experimental. Once we do the experimental, we have this adaptive subdivision. So it will do more subdivision. And now as you can see, the result is much better. Wow. Okay, the result is looking more realistic compared to that choppy, blocky stuff. Okay, so let's turn on this adaptive subdivision and let's adjust the camera somewhere here. We can adjust it later as well. Okay, so coming back to our material, I don't want this a lot of shine in the metallic surface. Let me just reduce it. We will adjust when we do our lighting. Okay, fine. So now we can move to the next stage, and that is to bring, okay, let me go forward, and we will adjust the camera later when we bring in our trees and set it up more. Okay, so let's go and bring in, so I will change this back to the material preview. Okay, and now we can go and start to bring in our tree. Okay, so we will change this from the shader editor to the asset browser. Okay, I can turn this off. Let's select, instead of current file, generators, And I have created a video already how to set up these generators for the asset browser. All right, so the link will be in the description somewhere. I'll click and drag and drop. Okay, this is not good. I will go to my front view and bring this down. Select and press G. Bring this down to the Z axis somewhere here. And let's open up the geometry node editor so we can see. And I'll expand this. Okay. All right, so this looks very intimidating. There's a lot of stuff is happening. And how we can adjust the properties of the tree. So if I select this and duplicate, for example, Shift T, and I will stick to the y-axis. Okay, and then if I want to adjust any value, let's say this is one set of branch, lower branch, and this is upper level branch, the tiny branches that you see. And then we have leaves, how many leaves we want. If I reduce the amount, you can see it's reducing it, and it's actually changing for both of them. So in some cases we don't want this, and in some cases maybe we want it to have the, so it's acting like as an instance. All right, so how we can make this unique, I will show you in a moment. All right, so the way we can make it unique is this group input here. This is where we need to connect any value we want to make it unique. So it will help us in two ways. Number one, of course, it will, so let me just do it first. So this is the connector here point. You can select this, click and drag, and take it all the way and connect it here. Once we do it, it will be unique and it will appear here in the modify panel. You can see amount. If I adjust from here, so it is only doing it for the selected tree, and we can no longer edit the value from here. As you can see, we don't have the option to change the amount. We can do only from here. Now the good thing is any attribute that I want to bring here in this panel will become easy to access, and at the same time will be unique, and that will be happening for all the trees. So for example, if I add different attributes over here, let's say the branch, this is the starting point, okay, where the branch are starting. So let me adjust, you'll see what this value is doing. Okay, but this is happening for both, so I want to make this unique. So I'll select this and connect this to my group input, so it appears here. So when I change it, it is unique and easy to access, and at the same time it is also added for the other tree, but keeping the value that is unique for the tree. Okay, so this is really good. So anytime if we duplicate a tree and then we want to make a certain value unique, we can do it. All right, now the question is, you can see these namings are same. Noise scale, middle height, end height, and the amount. So how we can adjust it? So for example, if I take this and bring it over here, So we have two amount. We don't know what this amount do until unless we change the value. Okay, so this is the amount of branches, I think, for the upper level. And let me bring one more, this one. So we have three amounts now, and this is the amount of height. Just a minute. Okay, so this is the height, how close it is, squeezed. All right, so we now know this is the distance. So how we can change the name of these? That's the good question. So let's select this node. All right, and we can press N on our keyboard. So in order to get to the naming, window, we can click on the group, and it will show all of the listed attributes. So we can double click and change. So if this is the one that is adjusting the distance, so we can just give a name, double click, anything that you can remember for yourself. All right, and this amount is the amount of branches. Okay, upper level branches. Okay, branch. And then this start, what is this start doing? This is the starting point, that is fine. And this is the amount of leaves. So we can rename it to maybe leaf. Okay, leaf count. All right, so this is just so you get the idea. So I will bring this back down, and let's reduce the amount of leaf, and let's reduce the amount of branches. Okay, so keep it low, anyways, like that. Okay. So I would like to modify this. I'll come to the branch node here, and let's connect this end height. So I want this to be unique, and the middle height. All right, so the end height, for example, if I take this all the way up and I adjust this, maybe bring this down. Okay, so this is how we can have variety in the trees. So what I will do now, I will do the process of populating the tree. Okay, it might get a little bit slower, so I can just duplicate Shift D in the y-axis and maybe rotate it in around the Z, scale it down just a little bit, or maybe scale, you get the idea. Okay, and then we can just have few amounts of branches, increase something like this, and adjust the starting point something, right? And we can reduce the amount of leaves. So I will continue the process, and I will come back when I've done populating the trees. Okay, so this is what I just finished populating the trees, and I've added a small broken tree just to so basically just to finish up in a good way. So we learned how to add properties to the trees, and then to make it unique we can bring it over here, and it is also easier to access, and we can also rename these attributes to our understanding. Okay, so now what I will be doing is, let's check in the material view. Okay, they're all looking dead trees without leaves. So if I select one of these and maybe add some leaves just to give a variety, okay, we will see it in the render when we render it. Okay, so if I click on the render, okay, we don't have any light, No problem. I'll just add sunlight if I go to my front view, and let's create a light. Bring this down. Let's go to Shift A, light, sunlight. Okay, where is this sunlight? Okay, let me position it. Maybe from here, and then rotate the direction. And let me check in the top view. That's fine. How about if I rotate it in this direction as well? Okay. And let's go to our camera view. Okay. And let's try to adjust some of the settings, but let's see first what we are getting. Oh, looks scary, isn't it? Okay. We add a little bit. Let's try some strength here. I will need to add some background sky. Yeah. Then it will make a lot more sense. Okay, so for this distance, for this tree at the distance here, maybe I can bring this down just a little bit so we don't see it as floating. Okay, so you get the idea, getting some nice shadowing from these trees and branches. Okay, because I have reduced the, let me reduce this to maybe 60%, so it's a little bit faster. Okay, so now what I need to do is, if I go over here to the world properties, and for the sky color, at the moment it's just this. If I click on this and add the sky texture, okay, and then let me try again. It looks like the sun is right in front of us, but in our in our scene we place the sun direction somewhere from coming over here. So let's try to rotate the sun. So this is sun rotation. So let's rotate it, maybe 30. Okay, maybe 60. Maybe 85. Okay. If I add the value to the ozone. Okay, so we have our sky, and I don't know if I reduce the intensity to maybe 0.3. Okay. How about 0? I want to know if that light I added to my scene, if it's doing anything. So let me select it from the collection area and see by reducing the intensity. Okay, so it is affecting. So let me increase it. Just keep on increasing. Okay, that's really harsh. So let's reduce it. Maybe if I reduce it and just play with the sun intensity from the sky. Yeah, this is much better, I guess. Maybe 0.6. Okay, 0.7. Okay, if we give a little bit value to our air, so that is giving us a little bit warmer. So maybe 1.2. Okay, yeah, something like this, just to finish up our scene. This is just to show how the sky texture work. If I make this 10, you can see how it changes the mood. If we make it 1, we can play around with this, maybe in between somewhere. 5 is better, I guess. All right, so this is more than enough. And then I can do a high-res render just to finish it up. Okay. I'll make this 100%. And let me check the noise setting. I think it's too much. Maybe I just want to make it go faster. Okay. I can even give a time limit if I want. Okay. Not more than... Let me see how it goes first. I'll show you the end result. All right. Okay, so this is the render output. And I will load this image in Krita, the photo editing program. Okay, it is loaded here. And there is one more image that I want to bring in from my render passes. From select from combine to change this to environment. So this is the one. I will save this image as, and then bring this in the photo editing program. So let me bring that in. Okay, so I've saved it already. This is the one, environment PNG. Insert as a new layer. Okay. So what I need is this part. I want to bring a different background to it. Okay. So the way I will do it, first turn this image into black and white. I'll go to filter, adjustment, and desaturate. It's fine. And then on top of this, I will add the color adjustment curves to make the contrast more obvious. Make white more white and black more black. Okay. Now what I need is I need to invert this because I need to delete the trees and I want to keep this white part. So let me show you. Let me invert this. So whatever is white will be taken off, will be removed from the image. So the way we do it, go to filter, colors, color to alpha, and then click OK. So we have to click and select and pick the color. So it has already done, it's white. So white is gone. So if I control click, the background is selected, highlighted. Okay. Now what I need to do is first bring in the background image. Okay. So this is the one. Click and drag. Insert as a new layer. Okay, so I will be using this just to give a slight faded background. Okay, so first let me expand this. And then let me bring this down. Now it's time to get the selection. Control click. And with the trees layer selected, I will click this and select add transparency mask. Okay, so let me hide this. So If I move this background image, it doesn't work. So undo it. The way this should work is click this arrow, okay, and then this one where it says transparency, we need to lock this layer. Once we lock it and then select this, we can move it and adjust the position of it. Okay, so now if I scale it, something like this, bring it down just a little bit, maybe scale it up, and now if I reduce the opacity, maybe 60% or something. Okay, I get the idea. Actually, I need to expand this just a little bit. Yeah. Now I need to adjust this render layer. So let me duplicate this just to be safe. And I will apply the unsharp mask. Where is it? Enhance unsharp mask. Maybe 3 and maybe 1. Okay, and let me add the curves, filter, adjust, color adjustment. Just take this and take this up slightly so you get the idea. Just to add a little contrast. And so this is how it is completed, and that background is adding to the mood, a mystic mood in the background. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and see you in the next episode. Thank you and bye bye.